Alright, the stream is starting. Meow. And I'm gonna start inviting the signups.
Thank you.
Hey Ziggs, welcome. Welcome back for your second teaching raid. Hey Spicelocks, welcome. I believe this is Spicelocks' second teaching raid as well.
Ginger, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little soft, but I can turn you up. But if you're able to turn it up on your end, that'd probably be helpful. Hey Paydor, welcome. This is actually Paydor's done multiple teaching raids too, so it's very cool. Got we are live streaming this event. We got some people watching now. Welcome to those watching the live stream. So
Ginger, can you hear me?
You're a little soft, but yeah, I can hear you. You might want to turn up your gain if you can.
I can't hear you.
So this was a scheduled event. This is our Saturday teaching raid, the second event of the season, and we're doing Von 5-6.
I cannot hear you at all.
How about now? Gijo, can you get on mic to see if he can hear you?
Yeah, I can actually hear both of you just fine. Okay, you may want to check your audio settings and options, make sure it's outputting
I'm doing right
the right
now.
thing. Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear to me.
Indefinitely DDO, that's because this tune is not XPing, so I don't mind covering my XP bars. Got a couple more signups to invite, so sit tight. We'll probably get a few minutes before we get started, so if you want to go grab a drink or something, now's a good time. Hey Renar, welcome. We're just gathering in House K at the entrance. Devon 5-6. Hey, yes sir, welcome. We're just gathering in House K at the entrance in the back to Devon 5-6. Hey Photo, welcome. Shal said you wanted to join us for the EV56 teaching raid. Is that okay? Cool. He said that you're still learning this, right? He said you hadn't done it a bunch.
I've done it quite a few times.
Okay, well then Shal has lied to me. He said that you hadn't run it a bunch and that you were still learning it. So if you're not still learning this raid, then then you probably shouldn't join us. This is for newer folks. But if you feel like you have something to learn here, then I want you to stay.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, folks, well, welcome everybody. I might be making one more tweak to our lineup. So we still have maybe a couple minutes before we're going to start. In fact, we can go ahead and start stepping in. That way we can make sure that everybody is indeed flagged. We are going to go ahead and do Epic Elite. Don't be scared. But once you get in, you know, if you still need to go grab a drink or something, you got time. For those of you watching the live stream, just like you know in the teaching raid that we did last week, my ability to focus on the live chat is going to be limited compared to other live streams that I've done, because I'm really going to be trying to focus on the folks that are new to this raid that are signed up for the event. But I am watching the chat. But if I don't, I might not notice you right away. Alright, I think we can get things started. I think everybody here has been to a teaching raid before. Actually, yes, sir, I know you joined us for the Friday Night Market Death Fest but I guess this is your first formal teaching raid. But I know that I asked, I think, everybody when you signed up, but I'm just curious if you could just write, like, I know some of you are totally new to this, and some of you have done it like once or twice. So who here, like, please let me know, have you done this before? And if so, like, have you just done it a couple times and you're still learning, or have you never done it before? Okay, we have a couple people a few times, one person never, one person once but no clue. Okay, cool. This is a raid that you could do well over a dozen times and still not really have a clue what's going on. There's so many sort of like little puzzles and things all over the place that are controlling things on different parts of the maps. And so we're going to be going over all of that. And just like before, we do have the one new person to teaching raid. So this is a learning environment, where I'm going to be taking things slow and explaining everything. And I've got several of my guildies here to help out, just to help make sure it's a smooth run. They're also going to be checking my work. If I say something that's wrong, they might correct me or perhaps add some supplemental information. They may also help answer questions. I may also refer to them if I don't know the answer to questions. And at any point, if you guys have questions, please just chime right in, and don't hesitate to interrupt me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep talking. And it's really cool to have. We got 4 people here that have attended teaching raids in the past, so really awesome. And then one new person here teaching raids, very cool. Alright, so right here in this entrance room, we got some NPCs. And really only a couple of them are relevant. First, so right over here is Haywire. And I'm going to talk to him. And he's going to have an option to give you an item called Haywire's Voice, and only one person can take that. And that's what I just linked there. It's very, very important that you don't ever take that unless you're assigned to be the person to take that. There should be, like I said, only one person can have it, and usually the raid leader will take it, but sometimes they may assign somebody to carry that item. And then there's an item called, there's a ring. That's also like an item that only one person can have. So you'll hear people, when you're doing this raid, you'll hear them talking about the voice in the ring. And so that's the voice. And then, like I said, there's a ring as well, which we're going to pick up later, and I'm going to point that out because it also can be picked up by accident. And so this is a point that I really want to drive home. That not only should you never pick up these items unless you're assigned to, but that it's very easy to do by mistake. And you're gonna, if you pug this, you're gonna end up joining groups where like somebody picked it up by accident, didn't realize it, and then the leader's gonna be sitting there going, okay, who's got the voice in the ring? They're gonna ask 20 times until they finally get people to look in their inventory and go, oh, I got this thing. Here you go. So don't talk to Haywire here unless you're supposed to. There's no other dialogue options that are of any value. And this is an item, it's not bound, so you just pass it to the leader or whatever. And then the other NPCs, like Vale over here, I think she's got some arrows that by today's standards are just basically irrelevant. And then I think it's Orphney here that she's got like a wand that cures disease. There's a disease in this raid that you can get from the undead. You could just drink a remove disease pot or throw a heal spell or something. You don't really need that wand. But you have that option. There are quite a few traps in here. And one of the things, like, if you're a trapper, then it's great, like, if you can get started on those traps right away. I'm going to ask that my guildie Gijo does it. And then, normally, well, let me show you those first. So here's one over here, and this thing hits pretty hard on Epic Elite. And if you're doing this Heroic Elite at level, this one can be pretty deadly. It's just the next room over. So don't get it yet, Gijo. I just want to show people this trap, which is right here. Don't go into it. If you want to. If you want to see how hard it hits, knock yourself out. If anybody's feeling brave and you want to step into the blades, go for it. Now's the time to learn these things. It's good to know if you can survive it, because you're going to get into Von 6s where you don't have a trapper at all, or perhaps not right away. You know, people can join this raid late. So a lot of times people will just get started with like 1 or 2 people, and you know, hope for a rogue later. But like I said, you may never get one. So it's good to know if you can survive these blades. Like I said, now's the time to learn these things, so you don't embarrass yourself in a pug. And then the trap box is over here on the right. If you step to the right, you'll see Gijo just disabled it. Right back here. So if you got a rogue tune, trapper tune, this is where the box is. What's the DC for these traps in here, Gijo? Do you know?
Most all the traps in here are DC in the low 60s. If you've got a 64 disabled device on Epic Elite, you're going to have no problem at all.
Should be pretty easy to achieve for an epic tune, I think. And then I also want to show you here too, we're not going to go this way yet, but I want to show you that there are a whole bunch of spinny traps here that Gijo is going to start disarming here on both sides. You can see them there. And, you know, again, they can be pretty deadly, and there's so many of them that if you're coming here at level 20 and you're doing Epic Elite and you have lower hit points, you could die in there. If you're doing this at level on Elite, you could very easily die in those. Okay, Gijo's going to take care of those, and we're going to keep moving, and we are going to stay together. But here's the thing, like when you join pugs, a lot of times they're going to be splitting up, and they're going to send people to different sides of the maps doing different objectives, just to speed things up. But we're going to stay together so that everybody can see as much of the raid as possible. And by the way, guys, I also want to let you know that this event is being live streamed. So we got 15 people watching us right now, and then at the conclusion of the event, that live stream video will be posted on my YouTube channel. So if you want to go back and watch it because you're trying to remember or whatever, it'll be there. And I also want to say that there's going to be a lot of information that I give in here, and so when you're learning a new raid, especially one that's as convoluted as Von 5, it can be overwhelming. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. Like I said, if you have questions, you can ask. Don't feel like you have to retain 100% of what I tell you, because that's going to be very difficult to do. Just don't stress and have fun. Okay, we're going to go to the east first. And it's just going to be a bunch of trash we're going to clear over to the puzzle room. Warforged and zombies, I believe. Yeah, they're zombies. These necrotic engineers are the ones that can give you that disease I was talking about, that you can just use a remove disease potion or cure disease or whatever it is. But that wand that I told you that one of the NPCs can give you can also cure that. And I should have told you, my bad, I should have told you before I even let you guys step in, that there are going to be certain conditions that you're going to want to have potions for. So, like, you can get cursed in here, diseased, poisoned, stat damage. So, like, potions of lesser restoration are important too. So, you should have those potions on every tune at all times, unless you happen to be immune to some of those conditions. But I definitely should have told you before we started. But if you have a condition that you cannot heal yourself, let us know, and someone will help you. This is a great raid to become familiar with. And, you know, if you haven't attended a teaching raid before, I want to make clear that our intent here is not to make you a pro at this raid. It's just basically to give you a basic level of competency so that you feel comfortable joining a pug and have a decent idea of what's going on. It's a great raid to learn because it's such awesome XP. I mean, some of you are going to, if you have a pot going, some of you are going to get like 300,000 experience for this. Others will get, I think, others will get like 200,000. In addition to having a roguish kind of person to get traps, there's also some locked doors, so a knocker or an unlocker is great. So you don't have to waste your bells of opening. So here's our first puzzle. It's a floor tile puzzle, and I want to explain what the objective is. It's the same puzzle every time, so come to this first intersection up here, guys. And I want you to see that, well, we'll just do, I guess I'll just do this first part to illustrate. But we're not going to stay here for the whole puzzle. The solution is on the wiki if you're interested. It's also not very hard to figure it out. I actually never memorized the solution. I always just basically figure it out every time. So you're routing the light into these side rooms, and you can see there's like a rune in the back of the side room. You can come over to the side room and see that. And you just want to light up that rune. And you can route it through it and back out if it makes sense. Sometimes it's really helpful to do that. And then there's a rune on each side, and once you light up both of those, it'll bring down this barrier in the north. And then there's 2 more side rooms just like this, and 2 more runes in those side rooms to light up. And then if you light those up, so now we're up to 4, then the final barrier in the back will come down, and then you can light up the final rune at the end of the hall. So there's 5 runes that need to be lit up here, and you can see actually here above this archway there's just 2 runes that would be lit up if it was done. You can see the one on the right's lit up and the one on the left is not. But then at the end of the hall there's 5 runes that could be lit up on the archway. So the point here is lighting up the 5 runes. Also, there is endless spawns here. And so what a lot of groups will do, and when we do this as our guild raid in High Lords, we like to just have, we leave a person here to solve the puzzle, but then another person here to farm for conquest, to just kill the respawns over and over and over until we get enough kills. So I'm going to ask that a couple of High Lords stay here to do the puzzle and to farm conquest. Who can do that? Okay, thank you, Wooter. Thank you, Crowley. Everybody else, let's see. We can detour back to the start. Let's get a detour up, please. The ladies are doing conquest. Go ahead and take the detour, guys. Okay, we're all here. We're going to go to the west now. And of course, if we didn't have detour, we could just run back to the start. No big deal. Just a little shortcut. We actually do this raid twice a week in High Lords just because it's such great XP. And there was some still relevant loot in this raid. Actually, in part 6. This is part 5. There isn't any named loot that comes from part 5. Although you can get seals. Okay, so I want everybody... This is another locked door here. I want folks to go ahead and drop down, though. There's something I want to show you at the bottom here. This is something that typically, you know, just the raid leader is going to need to come down here, the person that has the voice. But I also want you to see that there are some mobs down here. There are some breakables. And there is a collectible, too. So you can help yourself to the collectible. But drop all the way down to the bottom. And I just want you to see this speaking stone. So here you can see there's a speaking stone. You can go ahead and try to click on it, but you'll see that there's nothing that you can do with it right now. Later on there'll be an objective that we have to complete, some puzzle wheels that will activate this speaking stone. And I want you to see as well, if you look at the bottom of the speaking stone, you'll see that there's a symbol down there. And that's the symbol that I call the alien. Some people call it the cactus on the hill. Some people have different names for these. But whatever the case, it's turning the purple puzzle wheel, you see this is like a purple speaking stone, to that symbol is going to activate this speaking stone. So the point is that that's the solution at the bottom. You don't need to memorize that because the actual solution to it is very easy to remember. You can also look it on the wiki, look it up on the wiki, but I wanted to show you that. So we can start heading up the ramp. And there's going to be a collectible that's really easy to miss right here as soon as we start up the ramp. Actually, it's probably going to be easier to get to from the other side. There's a pile of rubble that is probably easiest to just feather fall down to. It's right on me. If you're interested, I highly recommend if you don't gather collectibles, I highly recommend that you start, because this stuff is more important than ever. It's used in the new Caneth crafting. The old collectibles are used as well, and then there's a whole bunch of new ones. And like, even if you're not a crafter, like if you give them to a friend or a guildie or something, they're gonna love you for it. And if nothing else, they sell really well in the auction house, especially the new rare and uncommon ones. You can even sell them on the Shard Exchange. And you can get rich off of doing that right now. Go ahead and go to the top of that chamber, and we're going to keep going to the west. I'm curious, the live streamers right now, is there anybody watching the live stream that has never done this raid, or maybe you've only done it a few times and you feel like, you know, you got something to learn here? Or even if you've done it, you know, 20 times and you feel like you don't have a good handle on it. Like I said, at the start, this is a raid that you can do a whole bunch of times and still not really realize all of what's happening. This is just a loop. You can go around either side. Got some trash mobs to kill. I just asked in the live stream if there's anybody that was new to the raid or, you know, hadn't done it very many times, and there's definitely people that, like, somebody said they've only done it on heroic, another person said they've never done it. Another person said they've never done an elite, so very cool to have people watching that are learning too. Okay, once we get through this door, there's going to be a dude named Odo Knucklebones, and he's going to drop a treasure bag, and that treasure bag is the ring that I talked about earlier. It's an arcane signet ring. Because it looks like a regular treasure bag, people will pick this up reflexively, thinking it's just a collectible. So I want to really drive home that, just like the voice, you should never ever pick this up, and I want everybody to see it on the ground here. It's a purple bag. It says arcane signet ring. People pick this up by accident all the time, and again, they're not going to realize it, and then the leader is going to spend 10 minutes trying to figure out who's got the ring, because this is needed to complete an objective. So if this isn't in the hands of the right person, then it's just going to delay things, or potentially make the raid incompletable. I mean, I've been in raids. I remember being in a raid years ago where, you know, we could never track down the voice in the ring, and finally people just got frustrated and gave up. It, just like the voice, it is not bound, so if you do pick it up by accident, be sure to let the raid leader know, hey, I'm sorry, I accidentally picked this up. Can I give it to you? You just pass it over, no big deal. Over here, there's a lever in the back, and then there's some trash mobs and some trapped chests here. A trapped chest. Let's go to the south room first and just have a look where these trap boxes are. Some breakables too. Five trap boxes. And if you open this chest before the trap boxes are done, there's just a bunch of lightning traps, which can be painful. Help yourself to the chest. It's just trash loot. And then we can go to the other side of the hall, and here's one of 2 shrines in the raid. Help yourself to the bookshelf collectible. We will be coming back here, but we've done everything that we need to do for now here. So let's go ahead and detour back to the start. The important thing that we did on that side just now was get the ring. Now we're going to go to the north. And here's where we're going to have to split up. So let's have everybody that's new go to the left with me, and all of the High Lords and Sinas, you can go to the right as well. High Lords and Sinas can go to the right. Everybody else will go to the left. Somebody said something that's important in the live stream, and that is, on Heroic and Epic, there's not really any difference. Nothing significant comes to mind, but somebody check me if I'm wrong. Obviously in epic things are going to hit harder and have more hit points, but that's about it. Also in epic, it's gonna, you know, the end chest is gonna drop seals to make the epic items. Now, this is an old school raid, and the epic items are old school epic items. They are the ones that you have to craft. You have to collect the base item, the seal, the shard, and then the scroll. And you take all 4 of those items and you stick them in the epic altar, and it consumes all of them and then makes the epic item. So there's my McGildy's, or linking a couple there. And like I said at the start, there's still some items that are still relevant even by today's standards. Here we have 6 levers and runes that all need to be pulled simultaneously. On the bottom we have a strength lever. The runes on both sides are wisdom runes, which I think you need a 20 wisdom for, but don't quote me on that. Anybody know the strength that's needed? Is it? Oh, it's 25. Okay.
Strength is 25.
And the wisdom's 25 too. So it's not very high. And then there's a lever at the top that you can range down. If you're really quick, one person can do all 3 of these. That takes crackerjack timing, but one person can easily do 2 of them. You know, you can hit the wisdom rune and then step back and then do the range, or get the, you know, whatever, get the strength and then the wisdom. Or if you had like I could pull out my wolf and do multiple. I could even do 3. But we have a full crew, so it's not necessary. But we're just going to do all of these on a count of 3. Renar, if you want to step back and do the range. Oh no, it looks like Yasura has got the range. And are you guys set on the right?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're going to pull on 3. 1, 2, 3, pull. Perfect. Then go through the door to the side. The door only stays open for a couple seconds, but there's a lever over here which just let you through if you didn't make it. Now the group has to split up here, so I can't really show you both sides per se, but I wanted the new folks to come on this side because when we go back through, I'll take you through on the bottom just so you can see. Notice that there's a lever out on this pedestal. I'm going to jump over to it, and I'm going to pull it, and that'll bring down the barrier. And I want you guys to go across the bridge. The lever only brings down the barrier for a couple seconds, so I'll just pull it again. Actually, I got these guys hitting me over here, so let me take care of those. Alright, go ahead and go through the barrier. Now, if you don't, a lot of times you're going to be in groups where people aren't going to pull those. People are just going to go like around. What you can do is you can go up on the diagonal supports of the bridge. You can go to the top, and if you have a good jump and like haste, then you can just like jump out and around. I'm pulling down the barrier now. Also, if you have wings and you fall, you can just, you know, get up on the supports of the lower bridge and wing over. Go ahead and go through Paydor. I'll get it again. And for what it's worth, just for the sake of providing information, information. If both of these levers are pulled at the same time, it pulls down the barrier on the lower bridge. But groups aren't going to tend to do that because people will. They're just like with the higher bridges, people can jump out and around, and I'm going to demonstrate that just for the live stream if you guys want to watch as well. You're just going to get up on the diagonal support and then jump up and around, but not fall like I just did. Wow, I'm a terrible demonstrator. There we go, third try. So you just jump out and around, no big deal. If you have wings, like I said, if you fall and you have wings and you're supposed to be at the top, you can just jump, you can just climb up here on this support and then wing over to the pedestal and then wing over to the other side. Oh, there's also a collectible at the bottom of this pedestal too, which I'm going to grab real quick. And then I'm going to rejoin you guys. Now, snow slide shoots like twice as far as a wing, so you get in as far as support. And do that. And if you jump really long, you can just grab that. By the way, if I sound like groggy, if I sound like I just woke up, it's because I did. That may explain why I missed the jump a couple times. I'll blame that out of convenience. Here's a strength lever here. We're not going to be able to pull that quite yet. And if we could get an unlocker to do this door. Awesome, thank you. Don't fall, but I'm just going to show you that the people that went to the right, we went to the left earlier when we had to split up, they're going to be down there below us. So if you can get a camera angle and just kind of see that there's another platform down there. And we're going to go back that way. There's a trash chest. There's another strength lever over there too. We need another unlock here. Alright, so this is the part where you need the ring for. This thing that we got from Odo Knucklebones on the other side. And all the ring does, the only thing that the ring does in this raid is that when you walk up to these barriers here, you can see that it just came right down for me. And these are the puzzle wheels that activate the speaking stones. So when this puzzle wheel is set to the symbol on the speaking stones, in this case, it was that alien thing, then that speaking stone will be usable. But you don't really need to remember the solution or the symbol. All of these puzzle wheels just need to be clicked 4 times. And that's the solution. But if you ever do this, invariably you'll mess it up. Like I think I did in the teaching raid video that we did a couple years ago. That, you know, you might click it 3 times by accident, or you might click it 5 times by accident, and then you don't realize it at the time. You just, you know, you think you did it right, and then suddenly, you know, 20 minutes later in the raid, you're trying to talk to a speaking stone, and you're thinking to yourself, why is this speaking stone not talking to me? Like, I did the puzzle wheels. So just that's why. If speaking stone ever doesn't work, it's because the puzzle wheel wasn't done correctly, and you just need to come back here and then just check the solution. Again, 4 times. The symbols match the speaking stones, and if you don't want to go back to the speaking stone and look at the symbol, you can just look it up on Wiki. Go ahead and take the ladder to the top. Okay, we've got Conquest, so the folks that are farming Conquest are all set as long as the puzzle's done. Trash mobs up here, and another puzzle wheel. So the ring pulls down the barriers. Click all 3 puzzle wheels 4 times, then you're good to go. There is the first of 3 speaking stones here. And so it's the person with the voice that I got at the beginning. That Haywire's voice that Haywire gave us, like at the first room when we first got in. It's the person with this voice that can talk to the speaking stones. So just click on the speaking stones, and you want to say, you have 2 options. You can say, my name is, in this case, my name is Ginger Spice, or my name is Odo Knucklebones, and you want to tell the speaking stone that you're Odo Knucklebones. If you tell them if you don't lie and you tell them that who you are, you won't be able to do anything, but you'll be able to click on it again. So you want to say that you're Odo Knucklebones, and each speaking stone is going to have 1 or 2 tasks that you can perform, and you want to go ahead and click on both of those. And you'll have to talk to it again to go through the dialogue again to be able to pick that second task that it can perform, which I just did. And notice in the upper right hand corner in the quest box, it says restore the north portal conduit, and that is checked now. That's what we just did. Go ahead and drop down. And head out of this zone. We won't be coming back here. But now that we've restored the north portal conduit, we should be able to toggle the strength lever back here. So some strong person can pull this lever. Oh, I guess I have this. I was thinking it was a strength lever. Maybe it's not. I don't know. In any event, make sure that this lever is pulled before you leave. That's very important, and it's very easy for people to forget to get that lever and just head out. Go ahead and come through here and drop down to the next platform.
Hey, Ginger, the
Yeah.
levers are strength levers, but the requirement for them is less than what it is in the hallway with the 3 on each side.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. See, this is why I bring my guildies in here. They're pros. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just want to show you guys. Let's see. Now, one of the things that we like to do in teaching raids is show you what to do when shit goes wrong, because shit's gonna go wrong sometimes. Like, you're gonna be here in a pug, and you're gonna embarrassingly fall down in the lava, and you're gonna be like, shit, what do I do? So I want you to go ahead and fall into the lava. I'm not trying to pull a gag on you or anything. I want you to just go ahead and fall in the lava so you can see what it's like down here. So on these, you can get on these supports, I think, to get out of the lava to stop taking damage. And unfortunately, there's no good way to get out. What you need to do is somebody with D-Door has to save you. And I wish I hadn't brought you down here yet, because I really wanted to show you that. Anyways, there's another lever like we just pulled that had the strength lever. There's another one just through the door down here too. So the people on the left and right both had a lever to deal with. But can we get a D-Door down here? Everybody go ahead and take the D-Door. You might have to jump to get it. Okay, it looks like everybody's through. Alright, now we want to go to the west. So we're going through, we've already been through the west once, but there's going to be new trash mobs and stuff to deal with the second time, as you can see. And I'm letting you know that somebody in the live stream is disappointed that no one died in the lava. So someone's rooting for our failure here. Okay, remember that I showed you guys earlier that there was a speaking stone at the bottom here. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. You don't need to jump down, just keep going to the west and keep clearing mobs, and I'll catch up to you in just a minute. Just the person with the voice needs to go down here. Just like I explained with the other speaking stone, you want to talk to it, say your name is Odo Knucklebones, and you want to click on any tasks that it's able to perform. This particular speaking stone only has one task. Notice that in the upper right hand corner in the quest box it says restore the west portal conduit, and that has now been checked. I'm just playing with you, Dolly Otter. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel and the videos, Enigma. I really appreciate hearing that. Bunch of trash mobs, iron golems to deal with here. I'm sure y'all know this, but just in case, iron golems are healed by fire, so you don't want to use heal here, or you don't want to use fire here. Also notice that there's this adamantine coffer here in the middle on this dais. Only one person can grab that, and you should only grab that if you are the person to grab it. Or if you know what to do with it, it's fine too. But generally speaking, don't grab it unless the leader instructs you to. Go ahead and come into this north room. Don't open the chest yet until everybody gets over here. Come in a little bit further if you're okay. Once you open the chest, these mobs around the outside will activate. And help yourself to the chest. If you need to shrine, you can do so. Sometimes pugs will wait to this point before they loot the chest over on the other side, because like you just saw, we had to come over here anyways, and just out of courtesy they may not have opened the first chest and just grabbed them both now. Let's go ahead and get a D-Door. We're done on this side. Thank you. again, if you didn't have D-Door, you just run back, no big deal. And now we're going to go to the east, so this will be the second time we're going to the east. Now, because this is a teaching raid, I want, well, I guess I could first do the coffer thingy. So the coffer that we just picked up from the dais. Oh, thanks for the dance. I'm such a good dancer. So the adamantine coffer that we just picked up from the dais on the other side just goes right here into this disposal speaking stone. And that's what's going to open up the gate right here to the north. I don't want us, this is normally where you would go next, but I don't want us to go that way. I want us to go to the south. Normally only the person with the voice would need to go here, but I just want to make sure that you guys are understanding what needs to be done. And so here we're just going back up to that floor tile puzzle room. And just showing you now that the puzzle is done, that the speaking stone in the back is accessible. And just like the other ones, I'm going to tell it my name is Odonoko Bones, and it has 2 tasks to perform. Notice that Restore the East Portal Conduit is now checked in the quest box. Now we're going to run back the way we came. This is a raid that I have found, and probably everybody who's experienced with this raid, like, you'll run into people that will post this that don't even know how to do it. Like, they'll have a general idea, they'll know some of the tasks, but I've joined pugs where, like, they got stuck because the leader didn't know how, and none of the pugs knew what to do, and they just literally had to disband. So it's a good idea to know these different objectives. Here, I want you guys to see, if you look down in the lava, there is an iron key. It's not a practical joke. It is a funny joke to tell people, like, oh, there's a key or a chest or something at the bottom of the lava. But there actually is a key at the bottom of the lava here. And that key just unlocks the door that's right here, but you can just use a lockpicker or a knocker. But I just wanted you to see that there actually is a key at the bottom of the lava. Kill this trash, and then we're going to have a chest and a collectible down below. On the south side of the room, if you want to drop down and help yourself to this trash chest, and then on the same platform right around the corner is a mushroom around back. And then just go up the ladder. And then we're going to keep heading south. We're going to be fighting some rust monsters here coming up shortly. another door that needs to be unlocked. Out of all these locked doors in the raid, that one with the iron key and the lava, that's the only one where there's a key in the raid to open. All the rest need to be knocked or a lockpicker. Don't go too far ahead here, otherwise you're going to get locked out, or you're going to lock people out. Some people got locked out. No big deal. The barrier will come down. We're just going to kill this Rust Emperor. And he drops the crystal key, which I just picked up. So there's a collectible in the back. And let's get a D-door. Everybody take the D-door. We're almost done with part 5. We're doing the final haul now. That crystal key that we just picked up opens this door right here. Okay, everybody that's new, I want you to come out onto this platform that has this Mario pipe shooting flames. I want you to look up and you'll see, well, where are they at? There's some trash mobs. They're going to be shooting down at us. They're right above us, basically. So if you come in here and you're like on a range tune, it can be really helpful to range those. You can also jump and hit them with spells. If one person comes in here and gets all their aggro, it can be a little painful. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to, usually like 1 or 2 people will get on this pipe, and we're going to use some levers down below to make the air jet shoot through this pipe, and it's going to blast those people upward. And they're going to be able to get to the upper levels here in this shaft, and then there's a lever that they're going to pull that's going to pull down a ladder right over here. You can see there's a ladder above me. They're going to pull a lever that's going to bring that ladder down so that the rest of us can get up. If you're new, I want you to drop to the bottom, not in the lava. I want you to see the platform with the 4 levers. All of these levers have to be pulled at the same time. Now, invariably, if you run this raid, you're going to get to this point, and you're going to pull all 4 levers, and it's not going to shoot anybody up, and you're going to wonder why. And the reason for that is because some objective earlier wasn't completed. And so if that happened, if you pull all 4 levers and it didn't shoot people up, it didn't work, you would want to look at the box in the upper right hand corner and see if any of those, restore north portal conduit, west, east portal conduit, you'd want to see if any of those are not checked. All of those need to be checked at this point. But you'll know if it's successful. You remember how there was like a flame shooting up down there, and then you see these air jets shooting down here? Well, pulling these levers basically like reverses that. So then the air jet will go up there and the flame will shoot down here. So if you see the flame shoot down, you'll know that it was successful. But so these will get pulled on a 3 count. Looks like we got people on every lever. So we'll pull them on 3. Gijo, are you ready up top?
Ready.
1, 2, 3, pull. Look for the flames coming down. That'll tell us that we got it. There are the flames. And then the person up top, as a courtesy, can let us know if they got up.
Nope, I lagged and did not get up, but SNAS may have.
Alright, let's go ahead and do it again. Back down on our levers. Y'all probably know how finicky air jets can be. I hate quests that I need to get in air jets and bounce around, which is why I never do spies in the house, even though it's awesome XP. I'll do it once per life. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3, pull.
Okay, we're up. Ladder should be down.
Okay, cool. And y'all are being pretty quiet, so, I want to say again, if you have any questions, please ask. And if you're feeling like, if you're at saturation point and you're overloaded, that's okay, I totally understand. There's so much going on in this raid. You will not be tested. So I want to let you know that. Okay, if you're new, don't go up to the next ladder yet. I want to show you, here's another Mario pipe with a little jet. You pull this lever here, it's going to shoot a jet out of this tube, and it can shoot you up over there. But if you have a good jump skill, you can also get on top of this. See, this ladder here is down, but it wasn't before. If you have a good jump skill, you can jump. You get on top of this pipe by yourself, and actually jump to the ladder without it being down. You have to have a really good jump. Not the ladder across the way. I'm talking about the ladder that's right next to us. You would just jump, and you can actually grab it without it being down if you have a good jump. There's a lever right at the top.
How is that ladder lowered?
There's a lever right at the top here, right in front of you. That's what lowers the ladder we just went up. So those people that got shot up earlier would pull this lever. And then if you look down, right from where we're at this lever, if you look down, Pedor, there's another lever right down there, like almost right below you, but to your left a little bit. I'll jump down to it so you can see. This is the lever that let down the first ladder.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. There's a drawbridge here. It was up. Some of you may not have seen, but there are two ranged levers on the other side of it. That's what brings the drawbridge down, where you can just wing across. You don't have to bring the drawbridge down to, it's not an objective. It just makes it easier to navigate. Not everybody's going to have wings. But if you like to troll your guildies like I do, you can bring the drawbridge back up by hitting the levers again. And if you're quick, one person can hit it. And then what you can do is when your friends and guildies are trying to cross it, you raise the drawbridge on them so that they fall. It's really funny. It never gets old to me. You can even grease the drawbridge in the middle to make sure that they will fall to their demise, but that's an advanced technique.
Demise?
I'm just kidding. More like to their embarrassment.
Okay.
And to your laughter.
Ha ha ha.
Some guy, if you're wondering what sword I'm using, it's I'm using a Triple Earth Legendary Green Steel, but what you're seeing is the cosmetic of the Royal Scimitar with the acid effect applied to it. Right here, cosmetic Royal Scimitar. And again, I applied the acid effect to it. Another door that needs to be unlocked. Traps in here. Spinny traps. The box is past the second door on the right. Just to the right of the third door. This is the final room. Make sure you do not talk to the dwarf. It's very, very important. If you talk to the dwarf before the leader is ready, you might get yelled at, and you may make some enemies. Because talking to the dwarf locks things out. What's up, buddy?
Hey, just a quick note on that last door there. The spinning traps that come up, you can either use the box to disable them, or if you unlock that final door, that will also disable those traps. So whichever way is easier for you.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So that way somebody would knock, could actually take care of that, and you'd never have to deal with that trap box.
Very good point. Thank you very much. So here, a lot of times groups will take a break. Up to this point, people can still join late. The raid will lock out. That door will close as soon as we talk to Arach, to Conduit here. So like I said, don't ever talk to him. Let the leader do it. If you come in and run in here and talk to him, and you lock people out, they're going to get real mad at you. And so, another important reason why we do these teaching raids is so that you don't get yelled at when you join a pug. Once we talk to Arach, then the iron golem there in the middle is going to activate. And he's immune to, like, all kinds of elemental damage. You basically need to do untyped damage. He's also immune to, like, evil. He's immune to alignment damage. He's immune to light damage. I think he only takes physical damage. Is that correct, guys? He doesn't even take force damage. So, like, warlocks are screwed. Druids are screwed. Druid casters are pretty much screwed. Yeah, adamantine would get through his DR as it would for all iron golems. There's also going to be large iron defenders that spawn, and they're going to be named like the Hound of Ice and the Hound of Fire or whatever. And when those are alive, he will be healed by the corresponding element. Is that correct, guys? Because that's something that was changed.
Yes.
We had this conversation when we did this in our guild raid last week, and I didn't realize that it changed, because it used to be the case like that he used to be healed by fire all the time, but I guess they changed that, and now it's just he's healed if the corresponding hound is out. He's healed by that element. The most important point is untyped damage when we want to kill the golem. Are there any questions that we're just going to kill the golem, and that's going to complete part 5? And I also want to make very clear, because when we get done with part 5, do not recall out. Somebody recalled out last year. If you recall out, you will not be able to get to part 6. The entrance to part 6 is right here. So please do not recall out. You will not be able to get into part 6 if you recall. But any questions at all up to this point? Again, you want to make sure everybody is here before you talk to the dwarf, which I am going to do now. The door closed, and the raid is now locked. People could still enter the raid and get credit for completion. They could get XP, but they would not be able to join part 6. As a druid, those watching the live stream, as a druid, as a caster, there's not really a whole lot I could do. Like, I could swing my weapon at him, but it wouldn't do very much. I can do Ice Storm. Ice Storm does both cold damage and bludgeoning damage. So the bludgeoning damage would affect him, but you can see it's not very much. So usually, like, I don't even do anything in this part. Typically. Druids casters do have a couple more. There's like ice flowers. There's some other untyped damage spells, but you don't have anything that's like gonna do very much. You know, unless you had ruin or something, for example. But the sort of native spells, there's not a whole lot a druid caster can do. So here you would stand up by the chest to sort of let everybody know that you're ready. Put your voices on. Drink a pot if you want to, because you're gonna get a lot of XP. remember, do not recall out. And don't go into part 6 until... I want to make sure that we don't go in on the wrong difficulty or something like that. So just... you can loot the chest, but here's the thing. The chest is like right on top of the entrance to part 6, so it's very easy to click on the entrance by mistake. So just be very careful. Alright. Completing in 3, 2, 1. Congrats on your levels. Help yourself to the chest. I have entered part 6. Go ahead and enter. Remember, don't recall out. Just click on the little the yellow barrier gate, whatever it is. That's the entrance to part 6 right there. We're above the chest. And just step to the right when you get in. So this is VOM 6. Also known as the Plane of Night. DDO's first dragon. I'm going to have to give out base assignments and explain how this is going to work. And High Lords, I remember having this conversation in one of our guild raids recently, but can the bridges still be burned away by the dragon? Or was that changed?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I haven't seen that happen in forever, but I guess it's just because we know what we're doing in our guild raids. Okay, so let me just give me a minute to figure out base assignments. If you guys need to quickly bio or grab a drink or something like that, you can do so now. I just need a couple of minutes. All right. So the map of this raid is kind of set up like a baseball diamond. So you're typically going to have the leader's typically going to assign people to bases, and those bases are referred to like the bases in baseball. So we're like at home base now, and kind of. And sometimes there's some confusion too, because we're actually starting at like the top of the diamond, and so you might get leaders that say the base to the right is base 1. You might get leaders that say the base to the left is base 1. As long as you understand where you're supposed to go, that's the important point. When we do our guild raid in High Lords, it's to the left is base 1, to the right is base 2, and then across from us, or to the right is base 3, excuse me, and then across from us is base 2. And so once we get going, the people, we're all going to run to the top of this ramp here, and the people that are assigned to base 3 will run to the right, and you're going to get to a little island. It's just, you know, not even a 10-second run. You can actually see it from here. Not very well, but you can. And then the people that are going to go to base 1 and 2 are going to go to the left. As you can see, there's an island over there to the left. And the base 1 people will go to that first island, and the base 2 people will keep going. Actually, we're going to give the base 2 people a head start, because we don't really want base 1 and 3 to get there, you know, before the base 2 people. Basically, we want all groups to get there around the same time. And when we get to the groups, or we get to the bases, what we have to do is there's going to be a genie. There's going to be some trash mobs. Killing the genie will bring down the barrier that's on this oh, what's it called?
Pillar.
A pillar, yes. So it's really hard to see from here, but if you look to the right, out at what would be base 3, you can see there's a shimmering barrier and a pillar. I can't click on it. It seems like I should be able to, but I'm not able to select it. But yeah, if you sort of jump and look the way I'm looking, you can see there's base 3 over there, and you'll see that there's like a pillar. It's weird, like if you look up in the middle, you'll see there's like these light beams or these fire beams that are shooting out to the bases, and it's those fire beams are hitting the tops of the pillars. Okay, so so those pillars have barriers around them, and killing the genies at the bases pulls down those barriers. And there is a difference here between heroic and epic. In heroic there are no genies, right, guys?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I never do this on heroic. Okay, so no genies on heroic, but here in epic we got genies. You gotta kill the genies, that pulls down the barriers, and then the pillars can be DPS'd, and you gotta bring down the barriers. And they're immune to piercing damage. Is that the deal?
Yes, they are completely immune to Pierce, so you need anything but Pierce.
They don't have a ton of hit points, but you do want to make sure that you have appropriate damage types, because you can get into a situation where, you know, people can't damage the pillars, and then that sucks. And there is a failure mode here. Earlier, you hopefully heard me mention that, like, you can see there are bridges that connect the islands. Once we start going out there, the dragon is going to fly up and start breathing fire at us, and she can actually burn the bridges away. And that can totally screw us if it can make it so that, like, we can't get to certain islands. So if an objective wasn't done at an island, if we didn't break the pillar, we're screwed, and the raid can become incompletable. I'm going to try to keep us a little bit organized, but more than likely if you join a pug, they're not going to be. They're just going to go in and smash it, and that method will typically work. But sometimes it won't, because so once you bring down the barrier on the pillar, you only have, like, I don't know, 15 seconds maybe to kill it, and they all have to go down within that 15-second window. Otherwise, the pillar regenerates and you have to beat it down again. And then it becomes a thing where, like, they all have to be down at the same time. And usually, like, people would just keep beating it down, and usually you're going to get it. But, you know, if you have poor DPS at one base, for example, that can create a problem and you know, or if you have low survivability at a base, you know, you're doing this on Epic Elite, the trash mobs can become overwhelming. There's gonna be like methods and elementals and things, you know, especially like base 3. There's gonna be fire elementals, and they can do a lot of damage on Epic Elite. You know, if you send some squishy people over there, they can die. Any of the bases, you can get a bunch of squishy people that die. So what we're going to do, it's a little more old school, but for purposes of the teaching raid and so you understand, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna beat down the genies together. We'll prep them to say 25% health. Typically, you know, back in the day, you would prep them lower than that, but everybody has so much DPS that if we try to prep them to any lower than 25, they're gonna die by accident. So prep the genies to 25. Once they're all prepped, we'll kill the genies, and then we'll start beating down the pillars. And that should ensure that, you know, we all get it in the appropriate window of time. Also, something very, 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 very important. If you fall, you get tossed out of the raid. You will end up in like the marketplace. So I want you to be very careful and look over the edge. Don't ever cast grease here, because you are going to make enemies if you do that, because the people will fall off. But have a look at the world. It's kind of cool. We're in space right now. And I want you to look to the south and notice that under the big island in the middle, that there's a little tiny island floating out there under it. If you ever fall here, and hopefully you have Featherfall on, you can Featherfall over to that island, and when the raid's complete, there'll be a portal there that you can take, and it'll bring you back here. Or you could just D-door. But if you don't have D-door, you'd have to wait for that portal. So if you do fall, if you can make it over to that island, you're not out. But if you fall and you don't make it to that island, you're out and there's no way back in. When we complete, I'm going to try to remember to have us all fall into that island just for fun. Okay. So to recap the first part with the bases, everybody's got a base assignment. Base 1, which will go to the left, is going to be Fuss, Gijo, Ziggs, and Renar. Base 2, which is also going to go to the left, is going to be Ginger, Wooter, Pad, and Spice Locks. Base 3, which will go to the right at the top of the ramp, is going to be Synastia, Syrah, Zentarius, and Crowley. We'll all go to our bases. We'll prep the genies to 25%. Once they're all prepped, we'll kill the genies, and then we'll beat down the pillars. Once all pillars go down, we either D-door or run back, and then we go into the center where there's the dragon. And I'm just going to talk us through the dragon fight as we're doing it. It's not going to be that big of a deal, so I'm not going to explain that part now. But do you have any questions before we get started? Is there what that can push you over the edge? Sith. There's no mechanism that's going to push you over the edge, though, except for lag. When you're running along these catwalks and there's lag, it's really scary. But no, there's nothing like Wing Buffet or anything. There's no ability, you know, there are no Minotaurs. That'd be cool, though. That's what this raid needs, is Minotaurs that can, like, bump you off the off the platform. That's coming in Reaper mode. That'd be ridiculous. Minotaurs along the walkway. Good idea. But no, it's that nothing like that to worry about. But like I said, lag is definitely scary. If you ever get lag in here, I would recommend you just stop and wait for it to pass. Because otherwise it's, you know, very easy to walk off these platforms. Okay, Zentarius, that's, actually, I'm just gonna keep it, well, yeah, I'll do that. Thank you for catching that. I switched Zentarius and Wooter. That way we have D-Door at every base, because it's just more convenient if you can just D-Door back here. And then once we finish the bases, everybody's gonna come back and just run up to the center. Back in the olden days, it used to lock out, so we'd all have to go into the center at the same time. That doesn't happen anymore. You can just go in there whenever. I think a barrier does come up, but it's way later on in the fight. It's not a tight window like before. One other little caveat is for the people that are going to base 2, you're gonna round base 1 first, and if you have the aggro of the genie, when you run by him, and it can be like you can be practically all the way to base 3 or to base 2, and he'll like teleport you back to him. And basically until somebody else gets his aggro. So if that ever happens to you, and you're like, why the hell am I getting teleported back to the base? It's because you have the genie's aggro and he's sucking you back to him. First time it happens to you, you'll freak out though, and you'll be like, what the hell just happened? Okay, let's get last second buffs. So again, base 1 and 2, when we get to the top of the ramp, you're going to go left. Base 3 will go to the right. We're going to give base 2 like a 15-second head start. So base 2 is going to be me, Zentarius, Pad, and Spice Locks. Okay, base 2 and base 2 only. Let's go. Base 2, let's go. Alright, we're going to the left. Zentarius, let's let one of the new folks go first. So, Pad and, or Spice Locks. Yeah, and Pad, you guys just keep running past this base, because I want one of you to experience what that's like. Just keep going. Just keep running past all this trash mobs. Base 1 and 3, go ahead and go. One of you is going to, yeah, Spice Locks, see how you just got sucked back? Just keep going, Spice Locks. You could get sucked back 2 or 3 times, but just keep trying to go to base 3. Remember, we're prepping our gens. The trash mobs can generally be ignored. And base 2 went down. See, we just have so much DPS anymore that... Just go ahead and kill your gen, and then kill your pillar. Kill your gen and kill your pillar. Alright, that's it, and that's all. See, that went really quick. Sometimes you can have a lot of fuss at this part. Let's get a D-door. Do you take your D-doors at your bases? And remember what I said, if, the dragon is breathing fire at us and can burn the catwalks away, making it impossible to get between the islands. Just go ahead and go into the center. The dragon will land. If you're a melee, just run up to her chin. Don't go into that firewall underneath her, though, because that's going to do a lot of damage. I don't know if it insta-kills you, but if it doesn't insta-kill you, it does a lot of damage. If you want to experience it, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and do it for the live stream to see. Okay, so it's not an insta-kill effect, it's just doing a lot of fire damage. But I suppose if you had lesser hit points, it would feel like an insta-kill. Make sure you're getting numbers. It's very easy to not be in the right place. So you can see she's breathing fire, sort of an old school method, and maybe if you're doing this on heroic, people would call out Inferno, and you could run back. If you're squishy, you can run back behind these stalagmites. So if you're new, I want you to take notice that there's stalagmites here in the back on both sides. You can hide behind these, and it's a safe spot from her fire breath. Don't kill her, guys. Stop DPS. Stop all DPS on the dragon. I want everybody here to see what the eggs are like. Stop all dragon DPS. Notice that eggs just came up. You can kill these. Whoever kills them is going to get a bunch of mana back. If you don't kill them in about 10 seconds, then fire elementals will spawn. Don't kill any more eggs, guys. Don't kill any more eggs. Leave the rest of the eggs. I just want the new folks to see that fire elementals will spawn from them. Stand behind the pillars, the stalagmites, if you're taking damage. See how the fire elementals spawned? A lot of times groups have so much DPS now that they're going to kill the dragon before that you ever get to the eggs. But I want you to see that this happens. And if you have a lower DPS group, if you have a lower survivable group and you're doing this on EE, those fire elementals could be overwhelming. Historically you would want to kill the eggs and before they ever spawn, because it would be painful if too many fire elementals got loose. But go ahead and kill the dragon. By the way, she does have a tell when she's doing her inferno. She'll little snort flames out of her nostrils, and that would be again, that's the tell that she's going to do the inferno, and if you needed to, you could run back and hide. But once you get to this point in the raid, it's usually just a beatdown. People just come in and smash it. That's it, and that's all. You got 4 chests, 2 on the right, 2 on the left by the shrine. Help yourself. Congrats on finishing Von 5-6, especially to those of you who it's your first time. I was thinking about that, Gijo. I didn't do that last week, but we're doing the live stream though, so it's sort of, that's the keepsake of it.
That is true.
You get red dragon scales here. Shards to make the epic items. You can get your Sword of Shadows here. Your Kundrak Delving Boots, which are your lowest level full-on freedom movement item in the game. The Sword of Shadows is a really rare drop, and then to make it epic you need the Shard, which is one of the rarest, literally one of the rarest items in the game. The Shard of the Sword of Shadows. People farm this raid for years and years to get that. And then you can get the Helm of the Red Dragon here, which is a really neat, well, it's more for the cosmetic anymore, but it's not bad for like a level 20 item, like a low level epic item. Oh yeah, let's jump over the side, guys. So let's see, come back out to the ramp. Have a look down over the edge. Look at the eye. Hopefully make sure you've looted before you do this. And I want you just to go ahead and feather fall down and try to make it over that island, because again, if you ever fall, this is what you want to do. And that portal will not be there until the raid is complete. Once it's complete, this is your way back up. But if you had D-Door, you should just D-Door. Go ahead and click the portal if you made it. Okay guys, that concludes tonight's teaching raid. Does anybody have any final questions before we split? If you had a good time, if you thought it was helpful, if you could make a note in the Sarlona forum on the post, that would be great. Just saying you had a good time and stuff. I'm just trying to encourage more. I know there are a lot of people out there that don't raid, that are intimidated by them, that are hesitant to join the teaching raids. I know there's even one person in this group that in years past hesitated to join our teaching raids, but finally joined them. So again, if you could make a note, that would be awesome. Thanks for coming out. Congrats on your Von 5-6s, and you guys have a great night. And there'll be another teaching raid next Saturday night. I'll post details in the Starluna forum probably Monday. And as usual, I usually like to have it posted in the DDO Chronicle as well. Thanks again for coming out, guys, and have a great night. Don't forget to turn it in to borrow Conduit right outside the raid. Take care.
It's coming out, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Live streamers, thanks for watching. Let me just peruse if there are any final questions. Okay, I'm going to conclude the live stream. Thanks again for watching, guys, and y'all have a great night.